Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we look at the Euro USD and GBPUSD and come up with trade ideas for the day. So let's jump right into it. Looking at Forex Factory, today is a Friday, and we have USD news, which is the PPI, core PPI. Okay, and that's all we have for today. So let's look at the chart and see what we can expect for today, as we also look at what happened yesterday. So from a daily perspective on the Euro USD, overall we are bullish. The daily is bullish, but the daily right now is in a pullback phase. We've broke structure. This is our current range for the pullback phase. Price did mitigated this demand, pivot demand, and since then we've had a reaction, and price has been pushing up. However, the bullish movement, as you can see, is not very convincing. Okay, but there's not much really to read in terms of intraday for trade. And then looking at the pound, it's the same thing. We had our internal break and our bullish break of structure. So our swing and internal, they are both bullish. However, we are having a pullback at the moment. Okay, we're having a pullback, and price did pull back to this demand. Okay, that is the only mitigated demand at the EQ of the range. Okay, this is EQ of the swing range. Okay, mitigated that, had a reaction, and then yesterday we had a strong push back into the area. Okay, so if price decides to continue bearish, then all these areas have been tested. Okay, all the zones have been tested, so it is likely that price could continue bearish. Okay, and then maybe target any one of these areas below. Okay, so looking at the 4 hour, and starting with the Euro USD. So this is what we have. Price has been bearish. So of course we had our break of structure, bullish, break of structure, bullish, and then we are in this pullback phase. That's what we have. And then price mitigated this 4-hour supply, and then since then made a lower low. Okay, and then this is technically our range on the 4-hour. So the 4-hour is still pretty much bearish. Okay, and we have this supply chain, okay, that are still being respected. Okay, that are still being respected. So if we look closely on the chart, okay, if we look closely, this is what we have. Price is continuing to make these lower lows, and then we've had this break bullish, and then we failed to make a higher high. Okay, and then now price is stuck within this range. Okay, the smaller range. That's where price is, and it's still respecting these areas of supply that have been created. This is a fractal area of supply. This is a fractal area of demand that is still being respected. So price is bouncing in between. Okay, so we'll have to wait for price to either break the high. Okay, break the high, and then if that happens, most likely we would actually want it to continue breaking the high, and this supply area is failing as well. Okay, and then continuing bullish. Okay, otherwise we may see price continue to respect, and if it's to continue with the downtrend, that means we'll continue respecting these areas of supply, and then eventually price will break these areas of demand down here. Okay, eventually, and then we may have a continuation to the downside. But this is what we have so far. Price is stuck in the range between demand and supply. Okay, so jumping down to the 15-minute, this is where we can then look to come up with ideas and maybe look at scenarios for the day. So what we're seeing right now is from an internal perspective, rather let me start from the swing. From the swing perspective, okay, this has been the overall swing leg. Okay, and this is the range that we are in, the swing range. Okay, so swing on the 15-minute we are bearish. Okay, however, internally we shifted bullish. Okay, so this was our last real push down, and then the moment we broke structure up there, okay, so with this whole push up, okay, this is where we have our internal switching bullish. Okay, this is where we have our internal switching bullish. Now of course we do have smaller structures in between. Okay, so you could reference and say, okay, this is sub-internal, okay, to this internal range, and sub-internal shifted bullish, okay, and then kept on going, and then kept on going until we eventually broke this bigger internal range. Okay, so sub-internal shifted bullish, and then since then the bigger internal has been bullish. Okay, and then from that point onwards, okay, after a break of structure, we expect price to pull back. Okay, so we've had this pullback, come back to this decisional, which is the area that actually led to the break and close, okay, of this internal range. Okay, and that has been holding, so that has kept on holding. Okay, so as you can see, price has mitigated it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8, and now 9 times. Okay, and it's still holding. Okay, now however, the only challenge with this now is because or rather the challenge is that yes, it's holding, but it has not gone on to actually make a higher high. It has not gone on to break this weak internal high. Okay, so our range, this is our range. Okay, this is our range, so this is our strong internal, and this one is our strong sub-internal. Okay, and then this is our weak sub-internal and weak internal. Okay, so overall, what you need to understand is that the range, the internal range, has shifted bullish. This is a pullback, okay, within the range, and we came to the decisional in that range, and we have shifted bullish again. Okay, so this was, you could say, this was the last time price pushed down. Okay, broke below that low, pushed up, broke below that low, and then we pushed up, then we shifted bullish, came down, okay, respected, and then eventually broke above. So this is where we had that break. Okay, and then we've come down, and then we've broken above, and then we have respected this range again. So our demand right here has been respected, price came in, mitigated, and now we are pushing up. So now we've created this trend line. Okay, so this is what we could be looking. Let's see. So now we've created this trend line. Let's draw it like that. Okay, so that's liquidity resting up there. Okay, so we have this trend line liquidity, and then as you can see, Asia has swept that area. Now we could be looking for maybe these highs. So what I'll be looking for today, what I'll be looking for today would be, come on, where is it? Okay, there you are. All right, so what I'm looking for today would be that during our key time window, okay, during our key time window, I want to see price come up, all right, sweep these highs. Once it sweeps these highs, then it will probably give me a confirmation to look for shorts. Okay, so at that point I'll then be looking for shorts. Okay, probably targeting this Asia low. Okay, probably targeting this Asia low. You could also try and target, let's see, so we have all of this. So we have a trend line back here, and remember, this area has been mitigated multiple times. Okay, yes, it is strong, but it has failed to actually go on to make a higher high. Okay, so after all these mitigations, we failed to go on to make a higher high. So this high is still holding. So what I'll be thinking, all right, in one sense, is price could simply breach this. Okay, this has to happen, of course, within our key time window, and then price could actually continue all the way. Price could actually continue all the way below Asia low, and then continue maybe to take out this used up demand area. Okay, this used up demand area. So this is what we may be looking at. Okay, this is what I may be looking at in terms of sales. Now, is there anything to look at for buys? Let me see. For buys, would there be anything to look at? So right now, I'm not seeing anything key in terms of for buys. I'm not seeing anything in terms of for buys. So what I'm looking at, because this already has been swept. Okay, we're already sweeping this level of liquidity. So I'm only anticipating that maybe we'll take this. All right. Let's see what else could happen here. Okay. So maybe for buys, this is what we could look at. Okay. Price has been respecting this area, as we can see. Okay, so price broke, tested, went away, came back, broke, tested, had a reaction, and then broke above, and then tested, had a reaction, and then came down again. Okay, and then came back, respected, and then broke, and now we are retesting. Okay, so what I may then be looking for is possibly if I want to look for buys. Okay, this could be the test, so might be expecting price to see price continue. Okay, if price takes out this this area, okay, between 8 and 11, then I may be looking for continuation to trade down. If it doesn't, okay, so if it just sweeps maybe Asia high, all right, then if we have something like this, maybe just sweeps this, okay, then I may be looking at price coming down, sweeping whatever structure has been created here, and then looking for buys. Okay, so the buys would be towards maybe this this high, or if you want to hold, then you might target maybe this next Asia high that is above there. Okay, so these will be the scenarios. This will be maybe what I'll be looking at for both buys and for sells. So remember, we look at what price is doing, and then we make a decision and react. Okay, so those will be the scenarios for buys and for sells. So that's it for the Euro USD. So let's look at the pound. So starting on the 4 hour. So starting on the 4 hour for the pound. This is what we have. So we had obviously price has been going down, has been bearish. Okay, price has been bearish. This is the last internal break of structure, and after break of structure we expect some kind of pullback. So we've had that pullback into this supply, which was a good supply because it's a supply that led to the break of structure. So it is the decisional. Okay, it is a strong imbalance. All right, all the good stuff. And then we did have these fractal areas. Okay, these fractal areas which were clearly eliminated. Okay, which were clearly eliminated. So we have had a strong reaction. Okay, we've had a strong reaction. So we could be waiting to see if price makes a lower low. Okay, if price makes a lower low. Then let's jump straight into the 15-minute, okay, to see what we can expect and what happened yesterday. So yesterday I was looking at this area and I was saying that I was expecting price to continue bullish after it sweeps this area within our key time window, which did not happen. Okay, that did not happen. So we had price take out this low outside of our key time window, and then during our key time window, price just kept on melting. Okay, until of course it mitigated this demand. Okay, until it mitigated that demand, and then we had a bit of a reaction. Okay, so obviously, so once price dropped all the way down there, my anticipation was if I was looking for buys, okay, there would only be maybe up to this area, okay, maybe until that area, okay. But also you could just look for buys just targeting 3R, anywhere 2R, 3R, 4R, okay, on the lower time frames, 5 minutes, 1 minute, okay, and you'll be good. And I think for that 3R, you'd hit 3R around this London high, okay, that's London high. So eventually that didn't work out the way we wanted, okay, the way we were expecting. Okay, so price just melted, okay, and then once it broke structure like this, then we shifted from a bullish, okay, from a bullish structure. We shifted from bullish structure, okay, to bearish structure, okay, and then once that happened, then this was likely an area where price could come in and mitigate, all right, give a reaction, and then eventually would go from, okay, because this would be the decisional, this would be the extreme. So you should be looking at price with both scenarios for buys and for sells, and then you make a decision accordingly and react to what price is doing, okay. So looking at today, so this is our strong swing area, okay, so our strong swing area is still holding, okay, our strong swing area is still holding. Our internal has shifted bearish, okay, it's fully shifted bearish. So over 15 eyeballs, okay, so this is what we have. And then we have our weak, okay, our weak swing, all right, down there. So this is just our weak swing, okay. So price could still come down because we do have, okay, we do have New York low, Asia low, London low. They're all nested, or they're all bunched up together down there. All right, so this is likely to be a run over, okay. So for the pound, my expectation is that price will continue bearish, okay. Price will continue bearish, at least to take out this weak low, okay, at least to take out that weak low, okay. So we had a break of structure, okay, and then price has had the pullback, okay, price has had the pullback, internal pullback. We did the pullback into some kind of structure right there, okay, just mitigated, okay. So price could just continue from this point onwards, okay, price could just continue from this point onwards. In terms of buys, we might then look for buys after price takes out this area, okay, after price takes out these lows, okay, then we could then start thinking about maybe looking for buys, Okay, as it stands, it's most likely that price will just continue to melt until it takes out this area. Okay, so the way I'm looking at it, nothing is clear in terms of looking for shorts. Okay, unless price comes down, takes this area. Okay, pushes down and then comes back. Okay, and then look to continue. Okay, so that may be a scenario I might be looking for. All right, to look for shorts. Okay, for price to break this area. Okay, do another test, come back and then sweep this area and then continue all the way down. Okay, and then once it sweeps these areas, okay, then may then be looking for longs back up, maybe towards Asia high. Okay, so those are my ideas for today, for both the euro and the pound. So if you find value in this material, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know how you may incorporate this in your own trading and how you're finding value in this. And thank you for everyone who subscribed. Thank you for helping me continue make this content. Other than that, have a good day and have a great weekend. Working Trader out.